Alrighty everybody, and welcome to day 9 of the G1 Climax Tournament 2017. I am Ryan Acidheads Murphy doing some fan-made English commentary for y'all. And let's get on with the show. So we've got Sonata and Bushi taking on Michael Elgin and David Finlay to start off with. Waiting for them to kick things off. They haven't. We got Finlay and Bushi. There's the bell. So should have things nice and synced up. If not, I'll give some more indicators, and I'll usually count along with pinfalls, collar and elbow tie up there. Bushi backed up to the ropes. Finlay into the ropes. Almost went through the ropes. And Bushi gonna play around a little bit. Boot to the midsection, whip into the corner, Finlay up and over, into the ropes, off the ropes. Flying back elbow or uppercut. 2 count only. Maybe looking for a drop kick there, but catch of the foot. So Bushi gets the drop kick in. Now he's taking off the shirt and choking Finlay. And the ref finally gets him to break it up. Sonata's in. Both of them in, actually. Bushi, knee to the chest. Double drop kick. Sandwiching Finlay. 1, 2, only 2 count. Elgin breaks it up. Nice dropkick from Finlay. He needs to get over and tag in Michael Elgin. But Bushi prevents the tag. Not good for Finlay, but still very solid tag team fundamentals. Isolate one man. Try and wear him down so you can get that 3 count. But Finlay does get the tag. Elgin comes in. Get a little preview of the next tournament match for these two here. Sonata and Elgin. Elgin goes to the outside. Gives Bushi a bit of a receipt. Nice use of the ropes there. Yanking Sonata into a power slam. Elgin doing a little bit too much showboating. I think that that really does sometimes cost him. Do a little double team there. Simple but effective. 2 and 2 count only. Finlay has Sonata up on his shoulders. Sonata gets free but gets caught. Basically rock bottom onto his knee. Only gets a 2 count. Also known as a Uranagi, I believe. I tend to just use the names of the moves that I'm most familiar with, because pro wrestling moves tend to accumulate vast numbers of names. Finlay again going for the stunner, also known as a whippersnapper. Leapfrog, leapfrog, dropkick. Signature Sonata. Bushi goes with a suicide dive, nailing Elgin. Very high impact. Sonata catching the guillotine choke there. It's kind of a modified guillotine. Shooting to the corner, takes the elbow. Sonata moonsault press, but chains that into the guillotine. Finlay taps. A modified guillotine in that he's not really trying to choke him so much as putting most of the pressure on the sides of the head, putting all the torque on the neck. Elgin not too pleased about the loss, but just a tag team match. I've said in some of my other commentaries and agree with the official commentators who work the first 4 nights. The most English commentary we've had from New Japan for quite some time. I really hope that they're working their way up to having a full-time English commentary crew. Even though that means that I won't be doing these anymore, I just do this kind of for the hell of it anyway. And give the fans something in English to listen to, if they so desire. Alright, so as you saw there, we've got Evil and Time Bomb going up against Kitamura and Kawato. And again, the last prelim or opener match of the night, or undercard match if you prefer, is going to be Okada, Toriano, and Gedo against Juice Robinson, Taguchi, and Oka, another young lion. Again, I have to assume Toriano is going to be going up against Evil, but I don't know, or so I don't know why Toriano isn't in this match. I noticed his last couple of matches he's been wearing an arm supporter, so he might have an injury. So they're trying to keep him on light activity as much as possible on these in-between matches. Or perhaps they're just trying to get these young lions as much experience as they can during the tournament. Having them in all these opening matches is a great way for them to get more experience in the ring and being in front of crowds in different places. We got Evil and Time Bomb of Los Ingobernables de Havana. Hiromu Takahashi, I tend to just call him Time Bomb because there's also the Takahashi and Bullet Club. And Evil. Time Bomb still holding the ghost of Daryl when he comes out. If you missed it, Daryl was his weird cat doll thing with a blonde wig, and Bad Luck Fale tore it up. Ripped it asunder. If you prefer more fancy lingo there. Ha 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 ha. Honestly, if he looked weird carrying the thing, I'd say he looks kind of goofy not actually carrying anything. But what you gonna do? Kawato, the smaller guy, Kitamura, the super jacked up dude, Young Lions. And if for some reason this is your first New Japan show, the Young Lions system is their developmental. They train the, pardon me, they train the guys in their dojo, their school, get them to a certain level, then they start putting them in these opening matches so they can get experience in the ring out in front of the crowds. Just get them some exposure. Get them all good and trained up, then once they graduate, they send them off on an excursion, kind of a journeyman thing where they go to another promotion, usually Mexico, CMLL, sometimes Ring of Honor. I think they've also got partnerships with at least one promotion in England. Not sure about other places. I think there might be one in Germany that they affiliate with. I'm not certain about that. Got Kitamura and Evil trying to outstrong each other. Kitamura gets the upper hand. Not surprisingly. Hard-ass chops. Ouchie, ouchie. And he's very proud of himself. Looking for a torture rack? Not a good idea. Broken up almost immediately. Young dude's gonna have to learn there's more to it than just being jacked up. In fact, I've said before, I really hope that he develops more than just being me big strong man wrestler. Because Michael Elgin's already working there, and that's kind of his shtick. But he does it with a lot of style and has expanded beyond that, especially since he started working in New Japan. He's kind of a big name in the indies, 2 count only. Talking about Michael Elgin, he was a kind of a big name in the indies here in the States. I think he did a lot of work in Ring of Honor. Then he just kind of got stale. People got used to him. He didn't really change up what he was doing for a long time. And people just kind of got tired of him. But since coming to New Japan, he's seems to have really expanded his repertoire of moves. He's, adapted, changed things up, brought some new things to the table. Happy to see that during the tournament this year he's been bringing out some new moves, changing things up, surprising people. Kitamura finally getting a tag, brings in Kawato. Unfortunately, he brings him in against Evil. Does manage to take Evil off his feet and send him to the outside. Has a better chance against Time Bomb, I'd have to say. Sends him flying with a head scissor takedown, aka Hurricane Rana, aka Frankensteiner. And hits that running uppercut again. This time on Time Bomb, looking for a springboard dropkick. He has a pretty good one. Nails it. 1, 2, and only to go. Kawato has Time Bomb and a Boston Crab. Kitamura trying to keep Evil down on the outside. Time Bomb gets to the ropes. Got some kicks coming in. I think this young guy here, Kawato, think he could be a really good addition to the junior heavyweight division when he gets trained up some more. Only two count. I don't know if he'd ever be able to get up to the heavyweight division. He's quite small. Only two count on the surprise roll-up. Nice counter. Schoolboy, only two count. Thrust kick catches him flush. 1, 2, only two count. And Time Bomb getting into a Boston Crab of his own. Evil has Kitamura locked down on the apron there. Again, if you're not really familiar with the Young Lions, there's a tap. You'll see the Boston Crab single crab finisher submission holds quite often. It's one of the first things they're taught. It's an uncomplicated, safe submission hold. It's effective, gets the job done, and you're not likely to actually hurt anybody applying it, even when you really wrench it in. I mean, you're going to cause some pain, but you're not likely to cripple anybody. Evil and Time Bomb pick up the win. And not surprisingly, the Young Lion is the one who takes the fall, but in this case, of course, both of them were Young Lions, so... The tournament so far... Elgin, from the first match, 2 wins, 2 losses. Sonata, also 2 wins, 2 losses. Evil, 3 wins, 1 loss. Not doing too bad so far. Evil so far, of the competitors, leading in wins. Suzuki, Tamatanga, be an interesting matchup. Tamatanga's maneuverability against Suzuki's being Suzuki. Suzuki so far, 2 wins, 2 losses. Tamatanga, also 2 wins, 2 losses. So far, the only one in the B block that's not suffered any losses is Omega, or Okada rather. Omega took his first loss to Elgin in their last match. And we've got Tamatanga coming out with Takahashi and whatever she's supposed to be. And they're going to be taking on Suzuki and the Prop Comic, which is my nickname for Tai Chi, because that's really all he is a... To me, I can't stand the dude. He's like a prop comedian with no jokes. Everything about him is nothing but props. And apparently we need to kill some time tonight. Anybody want to take bets on Tai Chi going after a mallet, the ring bell mallet? Yeah, you don't want to take that bet. Nobody should take that bet. You'll lose every time if you bet on him not doing it. He's trying to be like Gato, but he has absolutely none of the timing, style, or anything else that Gato has. Since Suzuki is the current never open weight champion, which kind of think they should just rename the Strong Style Championship something. And I don't know when the hell that happened, but Tomatonga somehow got out there behind them and has jumped Suzuki. That's what I get for looking down at my notes. But Suzuki is possibly going to make him pay for it. Signs point to yes. Tomatonga is it looked like he grabbed some lady's purse and was hitting Suzuki with a purse. I don't... This Suzuki doesn't care and hits him with a chair. And I'm a poet and didn't know it. Actually, I did. But not at that moment. Yeah. And Takahashi and Prop Comic are somewhere else fighting with chairs. See, Suzuki seems to always forget that Bullet Club and Los Ingobernables are quite happy to use heel tactics on them right back. And even jump get the jump on him in that regard. Suzuki just hit Tomatonga with a sign. Takahashi goes into a table. Well, are they finally going to make it to the ring? I don't know why the ref's counting. They never got to the ring to start the damn thing. I guess he just arbitrarily decided to start it on his own. Cognizance, I believe is the word. Initiative, that works too. Suzuki laying in some knees. Suzuki competed in MMA, one of the early innovators, stars of MMA in Japan. Only gets a 1 count. Good to see a 1 count once in a while. It's been one of my occasional criticisms of New Japan is they have a lot of 2 counts, even when there shouldn't be a 2 count. Tamatanga inviting Suzuki to hit him, not a very good idea. Here's that mobility I was talking about, maneuverability. Superman forearm actually rocks Suzuki. Up on the shoulders, but Suzuki's right off. Gets elbowed, I'm not sure what he was going for, either one of them. Suzuki goes for the sleeper. And immediately tries for the gotch pile driver, bad idea. Tamatanga going for the cutter. Both of these two have a serious problem with tunnel vision. Suzuki always wants to try to finish with that pile driver. Tamatanga always wants to go for the cutter. Now, it's not uncommon, of course, for wrestlers to want to finish a match with a certain move. You know, they're called finisher moves for a reason. But some wrestlers have a tendency to get really locked into wanting to try and hit that move, and it can cost them the match. We actually haven't seen Taichi go after the damn mallet. I'm surprised. 2 count only. Will this actually be an occasion when he doesn't go after it? Scuffle there, couldn't quite tell what happened. Suzuki and Tamatanga on the outside. Desperado interfering. He doesn't have the mallet, but he does have his cane, and Takahashi has his cane. We're gonna have dueling canes here. Apparently so. Suzuki has the mallet. Well, here you go, they're messing with me. They've been watching my commentary and are doing things to mess with me just to trip me up. There's that DDT, 1, 2, and 3. Takahashi picks up the win. Tamatanga with a chair, Suzuki with a piece of the guardrail. Unwieldy to say the least. Looks like these two are quite happy to keep trying to fight with each other. Tamatanga taken off with the Prop Comics cane. Suzuki out in the audience going after Tamatanga still, who's pretending to be Bruce Lee or something. Well, this could be interesting when they face up off against each other. Suzuki. Can never be 100% sure if he's just working or if he's legitimately pissed off and is going to try to hurt somebody. Alrighty, so Omega and Owens up against Kojima and Tenzan. Tenkozy. Omega, Kojima. Be interesting to see the result of that one. As I said, Omega 3 wins in a row till he went up against Michael Elgin and lost. Although it took pretty much everything and the kitchen sink for Elgin to put him down. And he will most likely be getting a title shot. Prop Comics Kane still out there. Omega's having some fun with it. Huh? That's the one that Tai Chi comes out with. I just call it a cane. I don't care what it's supposed to be. Microphone stand, cane, whatever. So I was actually starting to say about Suzuki, since he's the never openweight champ. Omega could probably get a shot against that title if he was so inclined. And Evil will almost certainly be getting a shot at it. Omega will probably be dealing with a title shot from Elgin for the new U.S. heavyweight title. And here comes Kojima and Tenzan. Kojima not done well at all in the tournament so far. 4 losses in a row. Currently 0-4. We already knew coming into the tournament that it was going to be Yuji Nagata's last tournament. But have to kind of wonder if Kojima is going to call it quits after this year too. I'd have to look it up to be sure of their ages, but I know that Kojima, Tenzan, Nagata are all part of the same generation of wrestlers. Tenzan decided last year was going to be his last attempt at the G1. Be interesting to see if Kojima can find an answer to beating Omega. He actually did pretty damn good against Okada. In their last match, he just couldn't quite put him away. Tie up arm wringer. Kojima breaks it and gets one of his own. Really wrenching on Omega's arm there. Thought maybe they were gonna try and see who was the bigger, stronger dude, but not really going for it. Omega, not too happy that he hasn't been able to get Kojima off his feet. And Kojima knocks him down. Ooh. Rough boot to the face. Boot to the head. Mongolian chop, forearm. Mongolian chop. Mongolian chop. Mongolian chop. Body slam. Elbow drop and a headbutt. 2 count. Omega kicks out. Mongolian chop. Doing their best to isolate Omega is very good strategy. Omega gonna use the ref to break up the sequence of chops there. Owens coming in illegally. Tenzan takes a couple of forearm there, well, elbows. 2 count only. Owens gets the tag. Gonna come in. Shot to the exposed ribs. No way to protect himself. Owens messing around a bit here. Not a good idea. I'm pretty sure he's a junior heavyweight. Tenzan might be having some serious knee problems in his twilight years, if you will, but I would not want to tick him off. They're gonna go for the exposed ribs again. Hits it with a double axe handle. Choking with a rope there. Now they're trying to isolate Tenzan. Again, not a bad idea. Potentially not a very good idea. Using a poke to the eyes to break up his offense there. Quick tags, traditional tag team wrestling tactics. Wasting time on the showboating. Okay, whatever that was all about. Chinlock, Tenzon trying to fight free. Getting a pretty solid hit in there, but might serve more to just piss him off than actually do anything. Hits him with a variation on a Samoan drop. Owens lands hard. Tenzon gets the tag. And we got some lightning chops, but well, I guess he didn't get blocked. Omega gets caught. Into the corner. Flying forearm sends him off. Shout to the audience. Signature Kojima. Omega hooking the leg, preventing the elbow drop. Owens flings him from the top. Not sure what Owens was going for, but got caught with a DDT. Grab of the foot, trying to trip Kojima up. Owens and Omega quite effective as a tag team here. Double super kick. Flatliner. Is that going to be enough? One, no, Tenzon breaks it up. Omega can't quite get to him in time to stop him. They're going to continue working on Kojima. Owens gets caught in the 3D. Omega gets a Koji cutter. Kojima calling for the big clothesline. Is he going to hit it? He gets it. Owens folded up, 3 count. Tenzon and Kojima picking up a win. Tag team action here. But can Kojima turn that into a win in the tournament? So far, Omega proven to be incredibly tough. But at the same time, coming off of that match with Michael Elgin, it does beg the question, how much does Kenny Omega have left in the tank? Did he put himself at risk for the rest of the tournament to try to win that match? To stay in the match as long as he did, well past the point when he should have just went ahead and stayed down. Did he potentially injure himself, wear himself out to the point that he won't be able to complete matches in the future? It is always one of the big questions in a tournament, especially one where the matches are so close together like the G1 Climax. At what point do you just go ahead and say, that's it, I'm staying down? There's always the next match. Alright, so we got 6-man tag match coming in here with Juice Robinson, Taguchi, and Oka, who I've taken to calling Okra, because I wasn't sure how to pronounce his name, so I started calling him Okra. And now it's kind of stuck. And they're going to be going up against Okada, Toriano, and Gedo. Okra, another young lion. And we got Juice Robinson coming out. Juice Robinson, not done all that great. He won his first match against Kojima, but has lost 3 in a row to Evil, Suzuki, and Tamatonga, respectively. At some point, I'm not sure exactly when, one of his knees got a little injured. And then he had to go into a match with Suzuki with a bad leg. After that match, he's got 2 bad legs. Still walking kind of gingerly on him. Looks like he might have recovered some. Tamatonga did go after his legs. Not quite to the extent that Suzuki did, though. So that might have given him a little bit of reprieve from the torture. Clearly still in pain, though. And the little pose. If you haven't seen Taguchi before, all you've seen of him is possibly some of these opening matches through the tournament. So far, you're new to New Japan. Taguchi comes across as a comedy wrestler, and he is a lot of the time. He likes to play around and joke around. But when he gets in there and he's being serious, he's especially working singles in the junior heavyweight division. He's an extremely proficient technical wrestler. Got Okada really showboating for the fans tonight. It's kind of interesting, in his last match he was definitely working more as a heel than a face. Getting up on the announce table there. Then we see this sometimes from Okada. Sometimes he can be very subdued and doesn't really play up to the fans, doesn't act all showboaty and flashy, but every now and again he gets a little bit rambunctious. Toriano with his usual antics. And it's my assumption that it's going to be Okada against Juice next, and then Toriano against Evil. But that could be the other way around, because as far as I know, neither of those matchups has taken place yet. No, it'll definitely be Evil and Toriano. Evil went up against Juice Robinson in their second match, so yeah. I was wronged. Taguchi wants to start off with Gedo. And Gedo goes right to the eyes. Gedo, one of the OG cheaters of Japanese wrestling. Miss on the funky weapon, takes a boot to the butt. And again, this time with an atomic drop of sorts, but does not miss the third time. Now, snapmare, hip attack. Hip attack. Little wiggle wiggle and a hip attack. Or a butt thrust if you prefer. I think they like hip attack because it doesn't sound weird. Juice getting in on the act. Little Rick Rude wiggle. And again. Juice nailing Okada pretty flush right there. Send him right off into the guardrail. Okra coming in. You gonna get in on the act too? And he does. Gedo pretty battered at the moment. Taguchi coming back in. And again. Toriano gets caught and nailed. Off the ropes. Misses the flying butt bump. Toriano sends Taguchi to the outside. I can't tell if he's still wearing the arm supporter. He is. Doesn't really seem to be bothering him too much, though. Ouchie. Okay, Okada stacking chairs, helping out the cleanup crew, I guess. Oh, he's gonna send Juice into it face first. Not sure what the purpose of stacking the chairs up was. And he's gonna do it again. He wants to stack some more chairs on those. Okay. And does it again. I don't know what the point of stacking all the chairs up is. Whatever's clever, I suppose. Toriano in with Taguchi into an exposed turnbuckle. In his corner, brings in Okada. I cannot tell if anybody is there on Taguchi's side for him to tag out, even if he can get over there. Slam, up and over. Slingshot senton. 1, 2, only 2 count. Now this would be a good time for Taguchi to try and pull out some of that technical wrestling I was talking about. Okada can hang with the mat wrestling, but it is not his forte. Catches the double boot. Gets caught. Manages to hit the bump. Taguchi Rolls through, brings in juice. Jabs. Blocked on the big haymaker. It's the reverse DDT. It's a modified reverse DDT. Reminiscent of a version I believe it was Christian used to do. Perhaps still does, I'm not sure. Off the rope. Takes a boot. Nice spine buster. Pin, 1, 2, only to go. Juice's knees still acting up. Definitely going to be a factor throughout the rest of the tournament. Up and over. Okada flies in with the shoulder. DDT, kip up. Now going to be looking for a running European uppercut. Hits it. 1, 2, and only to go. Going to be looking for an elbow drop here. Misses the big kick. Going for a rainmaker. Hits the drop kick. Looking for the rainmaker again. Blocked. Big left haymaker from the southpaw. It's enough to drop Okada, but can Juice capitalize? Can he get the tag? Got Toriano coming in against Okra. This is going to be the trickster against the young lion. Gato gets floored. Big splash in the corner. Old school body slam. 1, 2, broken up. Taguchi coming in to take care of Gato. Looking for a little double team here. Double suplex. Hit it. Toriano. Double low blow. 1, 2, and 3. And Toriano, the trickster of New Japan, picks up another, shall we say, a low finish. Let's just say if I ever found myself in a pro wrestling match against Toriano, the odds of which would be incredibly unlikely, but if it were ever to happen hypothetically, I would probably go in wearing a lead cup. Maybe steel. Yeah, that'd work better. Titanium. No celebration. The Alright, coming in for our first tournament match of the night, we got Makabe going up against Nagata. Again, Nagata said before the tournament started that this was going to be his final tournament. Kind of have to wonder if just declaring that he was going to retire from tournaments after this one is kind of taking the wind out of his sails, because he has dropped 4 losses in a row. Makabe, I think, from the generation after Nagata, I think he's more of the same generation as Tanahashi, roughly the same generation of stars. Makabe done a bit better. Well, quite a bit better, really, when you look at the big picture of what's going on in the A block. Makabe lost 2 in a row from the very start, but has come back with 2 wins in a row. He's going to be looking to make that 3 here. Nagata is going to try to pick up that first win. You know he isn't going to want to go through this tournament without a single win. But on a psychological level, if he's already beaten himself in his own mind, then he very well might. And even though some of the other guys might very well feel sorry for him, they are not going to give up a chance at a title shot just to be nice. Because when it comes down to the end of the tournament, 2 points could be the deciding factor. Those marks on Nagata's back, it's some sort of traditional treatment, I think. I'm not sure what that's all about. Makabe fired up as ever. You can be certain that he isn't going to pull any punches, well, forearms, which we can almost be certain to see quite a few of. Tie up. Looks like head-to-head, Makabe's come out on top both of the last times they faced each other in the tournament, in tournament action. Thrown off. Neither one going down. Nagata not looking like he's given up. It's extremely unlikely for him to win the tournament, but actually not impossible. There are still, including this one, 5 matches to go. He could potentially get 10 points, and while it's unlikely to win with only 10 points, again, not impossible. It depends on how everybody else fares. Big clothesline in the corner. Generally, you can't call somebody as being eliminated until around the 6th or 7th matches. But if Nagata loses here, I'm pretty sure he would be eliminated just on numbers alone. Because all it would take, let's see, Yoshihashi could not eliminate him by numbers, but Tanahashi could. So if Makabe wins, Nagata loses, the most points he could potentially get at all after this match would be 8. If Tanahashi wins, he'll already have 8 points, and Tanahashi beat him. And the way the tournament works is that highest points wins a block. If two wrestlers are tied at the end, the winner of their match takes it. In the extremely rare but not unheard of event of two wrestlers having tied points and actually drawing in their match, then the next highest points win. It's actually how Goto... I'm not sure about that. I think Goto may have won by 1 point last year. I can't remember if he won by 1 point or if he tied with... or had a lower point counter tied with the other two last year, but Okada and Tanahashi went to a draw last year, and that resulted in Goto getting the block. I think he may have won that one by 1 point. So I'm not sure what would happen if the two two guys with the same points at the top of a block drew in their match. You'd have to assume that they would either have a tiebreaker or it would just go to the next guy. But Makabe pretty firmly in control here. Another big clothesline in the corner. Looking for another clothesline and hits it. Running Nagata over. Two count only. Naito has actually beat Nagata as well, and he's sitting on 3 wins, just like Tanahashi, so Tanahashi or Naito pick up a win and Nagata loses, then Nagata would be eliminated mathematically. So if Nagata has any hope at all to stay alive in this tournament, he has to win. His chances of winning at this point, incredibly low, but not impossible. Gonna trade blows here, see who gives in first. Nagata drops. Catches Makabe with the armbar. Got it good and hooked in. There's the eyes. When he rolls his eyes up, you know he has it locked in. Gets it back to the middle of the ring. Makabe has got to break this hold. It's really... turns it into a cross arm breaker. It's kind of a shortcoming with Nagata. He doesn't really work over the arms at all before applying the hold. He waits until he hooks it in before he starts working on the arms. Makabe stops the arm breaker. Surprising Makabe a bit with all these kicks. Really rough forearms. Guess you can't say Nagata is feeling defeated at this point. He seems quite determined to make a point here. No one can blame him. That was always going to be one of those intangibles coming into this match. I said the same thing about Kojima's match against Okada. There's a brain buster. Can he get the 3 count? 1, 2... Only a 2 count. It's the belly to backside suplex. 1, 2... Only a 2 count. I think Nagata might have a small cut. He does. In this regard, Nagata actually a little bit better off than Kojima. Kojima going into his match against Okada. Okada, of course, being the world champ, probably the toughest guy in the company currently. Almost certainly the toughest guy in the company currently. Makabe, while not necessarily on his way out, well, not on his way to being regulated to opening matches necessarily, he is still perhaps past his prime. Makabe perhaps looking for the knee, gets caught. Gotta nailing him with some forearms there, looking for an exploder from the top perhaps. Makabe trying to fight free. Just chopping the hell out of him. Nagata finally has to give way and falls. Takes a flying knee. Makabe landed kind of hard, though. Is he going to be able to follow up? Looking for another big clothesline and hits it. 1, 2, only 2 count. Body slam. Again, probably looking for that flying knee. And hits it. 1, 2, 3. He got it. Nagata drops down 5. Losses in a row. So I think it's pretty safe to say that Nagata is now eliminated from the tournament. Because, as I said, he's already lost to Tanahashi and Naito, who would only have to win one more time, either one of them, to eliminate him mathematically. And since Makabe has just picked up his third win, he'd only have to win 2 more at this point in the tournament to, well, actually just 1 more time as well. Yes, just 1 more time. So even if Nagata were to win all 4 of his upcoming matches, he would somehow need everyone else to lose or tie or draw. And with 4 more matches to go for everyone, even if they did draw every single match, he would still be eliminated, because with 3 wins respectively, that would still be 4 points, putting him up to all of them up to 10. So Nagata is eliminated. First elimination of the tournament. I said you usually don't see a guarantee elimination until around the 6th match for a block, but 5 or 6 apparently is, well, just depends. In this case, Nagata has not picked up a single win, so there's no real wiggle room there for him. I said towards the start of the match, I think perhaps by making the decision to retire from the G1 tournaments after this year, he more or less just psyched himself out in the long run. Alright, so we've got Bad Luck Fale taking on Ibushi. Be interesting to see how these two deal with each other. And he just took that lady's toy and tore it up. Just like he did Time Bombs. And as always, gonna screw with the announcer dude. For some reason. I often do a little bit of critiquing while I'm doing these commentaries, and I'd have to say that Fale is one of those ones that I think if he could lose some weight and work on expanding what he does in the ring, get a better finisher, I think he has the potential there to move beyond where he is in the company right now, but he seems pretty set in his ways. In his ways, I should say. Ibushi pretty well-rounded. Hasn't been doing a whole lot of the high-flying stuff through the tournament so far. Mostly been doing a lot of strikes. Apparently these two have faced off only once before in the tournament in the past, and Ibushi won. Gonna be the classic fast guy versus the big strong dude. Though I don't think there's a whole lot of height difference there. Fale is actually only about 6'4". He's kind of shrugging off the kick. I saw this in their tag team match. He's not going to be able to do that forever, but he did catch the leg there. And this would be a good time for Fale to change things up, to show something different, do something different. Just standing on Ibushi's leg, usually likes to stand on their chest to soften them up. We could see some technical wrestling out of Fale here, actually do some submission holds, work over the legs. Seems to be what he's doing. This is a good thing. This is a good way for him to make some headway in the tournament, change things up. So far, nothing all that technical, but is working over the leg. Continuing to work over the leg, wrenching on it, using the rope for leverage. Again, nothing really all that technical about this, but it is effective. Screwing with a ref, not a good idea. Or at least it wouldn't be if New Japan actually followed their own rules. Enforced them, I should say. As I said, I often do a bit of critique. That is one of my common criticisms of New Japan. They have rules, they do not enforce them. One pin, only one count. And I've talked about it before. The reason for that is because back in the day, they employed a lot of what have become known as dusty finishes, which is guys fighting to the back and getting counted out, double count outs, lots of screw over finishes, disqualifications, what you generally would call a non-finish for the match as far as the fans are concerned. They were doing a lot of that crap. The fans turned on them, started losing fans, and then they stopped. They started having mostly clean finishes for the matches. There's a running kick there, not quite a PK kick. Standing moonsault, 1, 2, only 2 count. Hurting himself to pull off the move there. So anyway, they started doing a lot more clean finishes, almost exclusively clean finishes, but at the same time that means that they now have an entire list of rules the classic rules at any rate, that they don't really enforce at all. And my feeling on that is either, if you're going to have the rules, enforce them, and just tell your wrestlers, don't break the damn things. Crazy idea that is. Looking for the spike. Ibushi flips out of it. Trying for a suplex, probably not the best idea. So, if you're going to have the rules, actually enforce the damn things, and if you're not going to enforce them, then don't bother. Kind of go the ECW route. Not saying they need to have guys going out there with weapons all the damn time, but, pick one. That's all I'm saying. Fale running in, misses, gets kicked in the back, and belly to back overhead suplex. Ibushi again hurting himself to pull it off. That was pretty much pure leg power. Ibushi looking to go up and over. Misses. Finally gonna stomp the crap out of him. Into the guardrail. Foley gonna take this out into the audience here. Not really necessary. See what he's up to. Just gonna toss him into the chairs. Send him flying. A little fake out on the ref. Gonna take him all the way to the back wall. Ibushi fighting free. Sends Fale head first into the wall. Speaking of ECW, I think we're going to see a little high-flying action here. A moonsault from the balcony. And hits it. Very reminiscent of Tajiri. In fact, I was just going to compare him to Tajiri in ECW. I was going to say about Fale, I mentioned this before, I could see him working his way up to being at the level of, say, a Mike Awesome in ECW and even FMW, if he would work at it a bit harder. And if you never saw Mike Awesome anywhere but WCW, you probably don't understand what I'm talking about, but he was extremely popular in the Japanese promotion FMW and when he worked in ECW. I'm talking about a guy over 6 feet tall that could move around like a cruiserweight when he wanted to. I don't know if Fale would ever be able to do that, but he could work at it, and it's always a possibility. Whoa. Fale got hit by the drop kick. Tried to stay on his feet, but stumbled. Oh, huge clothesline. Ibushi gets flipped, turned all around. Fale looking for the fall, the bad luck fall. He's saying he needs a new finisher, because this is just too easy to get out of. Especially since he takes so damn long to go for the actual toss. Only two count. Big knockout kick is going to be enough, though. Only a 2 count, not quite a KO. Not sure what he's calling for there. Maybe go to sleep. Going to be very difficult to get Fale up on his shoulders. Nope. It's a double arm into the knee. He's gonna try to... He likes to use a last ride power bomb. I do not think he's gonna be able to get Fale up for that. Fale hits a nice Samoan drop there. Big splash. 1, 2, only 2 count. Now maybe looking for the spike. Hits it. Now gonna go for the fall. He has him stunned and tosses him. Hits it. 1, 2, and 3. Fale gets the win. So with that, Fale has actually got win, loss, win, loss, win. So he's gone up 3 wins, down 2 losses. Ibushi with that drops down 3 losses, 2 wins, 2, 3. Nobody really in all that much trouble in the A block, depending on what happens tonight. And let's see, it's the main event is Ishii and Naito, and then Tanahashi and Yoshihashi. Well, Tanahashi and Naito currently probably doing the best at 3 wins each going into their matches tonight. Zack Sabre Jr. also coming in with 3 wins, so those 3 so far leading, I believe. 6 points each coming in tonight. Yoshihashi, 1 win, 3 losses. He desperately needs a win here tonight. Goto started off strong, 2 wins in a row. Has dropped 2 losses, though. Ishii lost to Goto, then beat Makabe, lost to Ibushi, beat Yoshihashi. So he's been loss, win, loss, win. So we've got 3 guys already coming in with 6 points. Several at 4 points. Yoshihashi, I don't know if he could be eliminated by a loss tonight to Tanahashi. If he loses, he'll drop 4-1, which would mean that the most points that he could get would be 10. And then losing to Tanahashi, that would put up Tanahashi 8 points to his best he could do, 10 points for Yoshihashi. Then he's also lost to Naito and Zack Sabre Jr., so both of them would also have to take losses as well. He's also lost to Ishii, so Ishii would have to keep losing going forward. So Yoshihashi wouldn't be eliminated technically with a loss tonight, but his chances would be practically nil. So he has to get a win if he wants to stay alive in this. Going forward, Goto also seriously needs to get a win here. Now he is sitting at 4 points, so he's not as in a bad spot, but dropping a third loss going into the 5th match with only 4 more to go. He can still potentially get 12 points, which usually is what the winner of the block will have, is 12-14 points. 12 or 14 points, I should say. So, not impossible, but he really, really needs to get a win here. And of course, Zack Sabre Jr. is going to want to keep his wins going. So far, he's won 2 in a row now. He only lost to Ibushi, beat Tanahashi. I've been saying about Goto quite a while. I think he really needs to change things up a bit. Not necessarily his ring work. He's been doing a lot more with his ring work. Perhaps he could, you know, be a little bit more adaptable, change things up, be less predictable. I think he could use just an overall makeover and attitude adjustment. I would actually be interested to see if he could turn heel. Maybe turn on Okada and the rest of Chaos and turn heel. This is going to be another case of strong style guy going up against Zack Sabre's technical chain wrestling. Actually, Sabre hasn't had to deal with the strong style guys too much yet. And we're getting interference already. Working the abdominal stretch. Very close to the ropes, doesn't take long to break it though. Now gonna go after a leg. The Whippet making good use of his Whippet body. To put Goto in a variety of submission holds here. Sometimes I feel like Sabre is mostly showing off just how flexible he is with all the transition and stuff, than actually trying to get any kind of submission going. Quite frankly, he does not have much impact outside of using those submission holds. He certainly has a hard time dealing with people striking him. He doesn't have the padding to deal with hard strikes. Big clothesline sends him flying. Spinning kick in the corner. Going to be looking for that side suplex and hits it. A lot of impact there. 2 and only 2 count. Doesn't really have the padding to absorb a whole lot of impact, regardless of where it comes from. Looking for a full Nelson. Goto powers free. Sabre manages to catch him with the octopus hold and hooks it in. The thing is about using submission holds is that being flexible means that he can get himself into all those interesting positions, but at the same time you need the strength to be able to actually apply enough leverage and force to make the guy that you're putting the hold on want to tap out. Goto just powers right through and hits the neck breaker on the knee. Death Valley driver on the knee, really. Big discus, like a clothesline, knocks Sabre loopy, managing to hit a Northern Lights there and going for an arm bar. Goto gets to the rope. Despite Desperado once again trying to interfere. Sabre really wrenching on that arm. But I don't know if he's going to be able to get Goto in a position to get him to tap out. Goes for another clothesline. Hits the kick to the arm, sweeps the leg. Hits a penalty kick. Goto showing that warrior spirit, popping right up and nailing him with another big clothesline. I said this is Sabre's first real encounter with one of the strong style guys. So far he's gone up against Tanahashi, Ibushi, Yoshihashi, and Bad Luck Fale. Thing about the strong style guys is they're used to getting beat up. Catching him, trying for a guillotine. He's got the hooks in. Look for the legs. Rolls him up. 1, 2. Only a 2 count. Very long 2 count. Again, 2. Only a 2 count. Catch to the foot. Big forearm there. Saber drops to the forearm. This is not a game that he's going to be able to win. Goto is used to taking this kind of punishment from guys that can hit a hell of a lot harder. Goes back to the arm again, and again, and again. Another huge clothesline sends Saber flying. Huge kick. Going for the Goto Revolution. Hits it. 1, 2, 3. Saber goes down. Goto picks up that win that he really needed. And things are just going to keep getting harder for Zack Sabre Jr. because coming up he's still going to have to face Ishii and Makabe. And Nagata. And whatever Nagata's mental state at this point, he is still going to be more than happy to beat the crap out of the Whippet. And he's also got Naito. Coming up, so the argument could be made that Zack Sabre Jr. has had it kind of easy up till now. He hasn't had to go up against anybody with extremely high impact offense, and the upcoming lineup, that's basically their bread and butter for him. Ishii, Makabe, Nagata, Naito, that's a rough final four for him. Goto. Conversely, let's see, he's going to still have Fale. He still has Naito. Yoshihashi. And Ibushi. So Naito's always going to be a tough one for any of them. Ibushi, potentially, so. Fale, it just depends on how Goto tries to play it, and Yoshihashi. Definitely the least experienced of anybody in the A block, I believe. Not sure how his career lines up with Zack Sabre Jr. I know Sabre Jr.'s had quite a career in England before traveling abroad, so again, I'm not sure how they match up in terms of experience. So Yoshihashi pretty much has to win this match. A loss here will not actually eliminate him, but it would as good as. It's been said already, and I agree that Yoshihashi last year showed some new stuff. Didn't do too badly in the tournament his first year. This year really has not shown anything new. Hasn't been changing things up much. Hasn't been, playing with his game plan, trying to catch the other guys off guard. It's been quite predictable, and that's probably been hurting him. You got Tanahashi coming out. Perhaps no longer the #1 ace of New Japan, but hardly past his prime, I would say. Even working with an injury, he's been doing damn good. Again, coming in here with 6 points, 3 wins, only 1 loss so far. He's in a pretty good position. He's not going to want to lose this match, of course, but he can afford to. Sometimes I like to talk about intangibles in a wrestling match. You have to consider that Yoshihashi is going to be a bit desperate here, while Tanahashi is going to be secure in his place in the points in the tournament so far. It's unlikely that Tanahashi will take Yoshihashi lightly. It's always possible, but not likely. Yoshihashi likes to use a butterfly lock. Depending on how you apply the pressure, that can torque the neck, or it can put a lot of pressure on the arms. Although mostly the shoulder sockets. Tanahashi does have an arm injury there. I think this is going to come down to whether or not Yoshihashi's determination can overcome the experience edge. Trading arm ringers there. Tanahashi getting the edge there. Trying to out-wrestle Tanahashi, trying to outmaneuver him, and it's not working for him. If Yoshihashi is going to bring out anything new, if he's going to change things up and try and bring out some surprises, this is the time to do it. Sitting at 3 losses, his chances of winning the tournament are already damn slim. But this is the time to really try and shock everyone. Gets caught, rolls through. 1, 2, only 2 count. Roll up, 2, only 2 count. Can't forget that Tanahashi will occasionally play a little dirty. Yoshihashi catching the foot, but Tanahashi just kicks him off. Grab's gonna go up and over, and nails Yoshihashi right into the guardrail there. And skins the cat back into the ring. I might have to look that up. Why in the hell is that called skinning the cat? Tanahashi, a little air guitar, taking a bit of a breather, but giving Yoshihashi the same chance. Going after the knee. Tanahashi likes to use a Texas Cloverleaf variation. Likes to use the leg whips. Multiple variations. Tying him up. Yoshihashi trying to slap his way free here. As you can see, this move looks a little odd. Puts a huge amount of pressure on the inner thigh muscles. All those big old tendons in there. Yoshihashi fighting his way, finally gets to the ropes. Forcing the break. Although the Texas Cloverleaf puts a lot of pressure on the lower back, more than the legs, Tanahashi likes going after the legs. Nasty chop. Tanahashi answers with just a straight punch to the gut. There's a kick. Yoshihashi off the ropes. Manages to hit an overcastle. Running overcastle neck breaker there. Might have caught the hair. I'd say from Tanahashi's behavior right there. I think Yoshihashi caught the hair. Forearms. Kind of popped him in the gut and then chopped him. Turnbuckle. Big running chop. Gonna look for taking him over. Neck breaker. 1, 2, only 2 count. Stiff boot right to the chest. There's that leg whip I was talking about. Standard variant. And now he's looking for that Texas clover leaf. Yoshihashi manages to push him off. Drop kick to the knee. Yoshihashi flies off of that one. A lot of impact. Gonna go back for the clover leaf. Catches it. He likes to use more of a high angle variation. Again, move puts a lot of pressure on the lower back. You see the way Tanahashi does it, he is getting a lot of torque on the knees as well. It's a pretty effective variation on the move because he's getting some pressure on the neck. Going back to the leg. Maybe looking for a posting version of a whip. Yoshihashi trying to fight him off, not successful, and does post the leg down into the mat. You imagine how that's going to feel? You ever have stepped down off of a step or off a curb or something and just put your foot down a little bit too forcefully in the wrong position? It hurts. Yoshihashi fighting through the leg pain. Swings him around, plants him face first. But the leg pain, he's not able to capitalize. Tanahashi having plenty of time to recover. Yoshihashi manages to get to his feet first, and Tanahashi goes back to the leg. Huge chop. Doesn't really seem to do a whole lot. Exchanging forearms, Tanahashi getting right up in his face. Yoshihashi kind of getting fired up. This is what he's been needing to do the whole tournament. But Tanahashi catches him and floors him. Don't think he's going to be able to out-tough Tanahashi. Trying for shoulder breaker. Catches him. Runs in, double knee to the face, chest, only 2 count. So we have seen a couple of new things out of Yoshihashi. That is a new addition. I think that face plant move he's been using has been a new addition, but he hasn't really been able to use them to success so far. It's not just a matter of bringing out new moves. It's a matter of doing things that are going to catch your opponent off guard. And there is another variation on a leg whip. Very nasty seated version. Looking for the sling blade. Yoshihashi avoids it. Hits a kick. Tanahashi shrugs it off and just slaps him. Nice palm thrust, reminiscent of Jushin Thunder Liger. Gonna be looking for a power bomb. Hits it, flips over. 1, 2, and 2 count only. Now, thought maybe he was going for that pump handle driver, but he's gonna go for the swanton. Could be a mistake, but hits it. 1, 2, and 2 count only. I think Yoshihashi's real mistake here in this match is he has not focused at all on Tanahashi's arm. Now he's going for the pump handle driver. Tanahashi knew it was coming. One, two, only to go. Tanahashi was going for that rolling neck breaker. Got stopped by a very awkward pinning combination, but Yoshihashi finally managed to get him in there, get him pinned. Hits the knees to the back, going for the pump handle driver. Tanahashi blocking it and hits the rolling neck breaker. Tanahashi calling to the audience, trying to get him on his side. He's going to look for that sling blade. Yoshihashi avoids it, hits the spin kick. It's another thrust kick, but gets caught that time. Going to be looking for the high fly flow. Frog splash. Yoshihashi takes it. 1, 2, 3. Tanahashi picks up the win. Yoshihashi drops another loss. Which, as I said, technically doesn't eliminate him, but realistically, that's it for Yoshihashi. And as I said about Nagata, this would be his mathematical elimination. Even if he were to win all 4 of his upcoming matches, he could only have 8 points. Tanahashi now has 8 points. and he beat Nagata. So there's no speculation involved there. That is the tournament over for Nagata. Although, as I said before, even if somehow there could be nothing but draws between everybody, he still would have been eliminated, but this makes it definite. Tanahashi, still the rock star of New Japan. And the main event is going to be Naito going up against Ishii. Naito held the world title for a while last year. Ishii got a title shot. They had one hell of a match. Ishii did not win, though. Gonna have Naito coming out first. And watch the crowd go crazy. Naito, another one coming in with 3 wins, 1 loss. He's not going to want to fall behind Tanahashi. But still coming in a good position. Ishii, 2 wins, 2 losses. He's going to be looking for that 3rd win, so he can get up to 6 points. And Naito likes to move on his time. Here comes Ishii. Ishii, another one I think could benefit from changing things up a little bit. He's been doing some new stuff in the ring, but said about a Yoshihashi, it's not just about doing new moves or doing something just a little bit outside your usual comfort zone and repertoire of moves. These two know each other pretty well, so the one who really does something unexpected could definitely get the upper hand. They're both damn tough. Ishii, definitely more of a strong style guy. Naito, pretty well-rounded, mixed bag. Likes to play head games. And G1 Climax head-to-head, I can only assume that means they've never faced off in a G1 Climax before. Tied up. Ishii backing Naito up. Gonna get a clean break. Nope. But Naito sees it coming and ducks. What's he gonna do? He's gonna back off. And then he spits in Ishii's face. Could be a mistake, but he likes playing those head games. So pissing Ishii off could be a good move. In this case, it could take him off his game plan, make him make mistakes. And again, Naito playing those kid games, getting Ishii all fired up. Now he's dragging things down, making him just sit there and stew. The other hand, this could definitely work against Naito because Ishii's gotten himself back under control. He's just chilling. And Naito takes a nasty spill there. Ishii finally catching him. Into the guardrail. Pretty hard hit there. Ishii trying to come off that with a surprise clothesline, but Naito stopped him cold. Again, he should know better than to think that that's going to actually keep Ishii down. Oh, there he is. Comes back out after him. Then maybe he's going to thinking to keep Ishii grounded here. Not a bad strategy. Not sure about clubbing blows to the top of his head. I don't think that's really going to hurt Ishii too much. That would. Being disrespectful, not a very safe strategy. Now he's going to try to play the strong style game with Ishii. That could easily backfire. Ishii firing in with some very stiff forearms and chops. Naito firing back. As it goes back to the nose. Just exchanging blows in the corner there, basically. There's a reverse DDT onto the knee. Hung up on the ropes, too. All impact. Naito looking to set up Destino. That modified reverse DDT. Only one count. Basically a standing tornado reverse DDT. A variation on that. So going for a head scissor here with the legs. Again, very simple but effective. And twisting up. Working over Ishii's neck. If you can find it. But clearly he does have a neck, and Naito is torturing it at the moment. Ishii muscling Naito over and potentially was looking for a pinning position there, but Naito drags him over and gets him again. Ton of pressure there. Ishii trying to get to the ropes. Finally gets there. Naito continuing to hammer away on his head. I suppose the concept of the death by 1,000 cuts would apply. You hit somebody in the head enough, even if they've got a very hard head, eventually it's going to start hurting. Ishii not quite being dominated through this match, but he has not really been able to answer Naito's offense very well. And just as I say that, he's gonna start trying to get in Naito's face. But gets clubbed right back down. It's not very common to see it, but Ishii is definitely in trouble early in the match. Again, working over the neck. Just a simple neck wrench there. Ishii fighting out of it, though. Gets Ishii up, looking to send him into the other corner perhaps. Reversal. But eats a boot. And again. Ishii able to counter that. Hits Naito with that power slam he likes to use. Damn near drops them on their head when he does it. Ishii just kind of putting the boots and slaps to Naito. Just battering him here. I could do without the headbutts. I will not apologize for that. After what happened to Shibata, I don't like seeing the headbutts. And if you're new to New Japan for the tournament and you don't know who Shibata is, extremely entertaining guy. An excellent performer in the ring, strong style to his core, very hard-hitting, intense. And he was only to count. He was I'd say he was on his way potentially to a world title shot. Well, he had a world title shot, but I think he could have been on his way to actually winning the title at some point in the near future. He in a match with Okada for the world title. He did a hard headbutt, and between the headbutt and probably dehydration from the match, he ended up with swelling of the brain, had to have surgery, emergency surgery. It was experiencing paralysis down his right side, and his career's probably over. All because of one spot that was not really necessary at all. Sweep of the leg, Naito going to come over. Modified version, he usually does this to a seated opponent, but seen this a couple of times now. What I said, changing things up, bringing out some surprises. So far, Ishii has not really had much of an answer to Naito's offense. Every time he really starts trying to fight back, Naito manages to stop him. Going for the tornado DDT, but gets thrown off. Ishii manages to get the suplex. So anyway, about Shibata, ever since that happened, I never liked seeing the headbutts anyway, because, you know, everything that has been learned about concussion syndrome and all that stuff, hard blows to the head in pro wrestling really is a thing that needs to go away in general. But an unprotected stiff headbutts like that clearly are a major risk. and Shibata's career is pretty much over. The chances of him recovering enough to ever get back in the ring are pretty slim at this point, from what I've seen reported, and even Shibata himself has written about trying to make a comeback and how difficult it is. So, like I said, I could do without the headbutts. There, Ishii manages to floor Naito with a big clothesline in the corner, but can he follow this up? Can he keep it going? Perhaps looking for a superplex? Naito trying to fight free. Thought maybe Ishii was going to get him without Naito being able to recover enough to fight. But he is, and he's... I thought maybe he was going for a sunset bomb, but he goes over and hanging neck breaker off the turnbuckle. Big German suplex. Two count. I have to assume that was a good long 2 count there. I couldn't see the ref for the first part. Naito maybe looking for a dragon suplex. Gets stopped. Ishii going high with the chop, catching the throat. He's been known to do that when he's getting in trouble. Naito hits the surprise flying forearm. Gets the dragon. 1, 2, only 2 count. Dragon suplex is a full Nelson suplex with the bridge. Looking for the side slam there, but gets caught. Big overhead belly to back. This is where the toughness is going to come into play. As I said at the start, both of these guys very tough. Ishii used to taking punishment from big, strong dudes. But then again, so is Naito. And so far, I would have to put Naito ahead on offense here. But both are slow getting to their feet. Ishii up first. Maybe going for a clothesline, but gets stopped. And another headbutt. Headbutt to the chest. Looking for a powerbomb, perhaps. And hits it. 1, 2, only 2 count. It's like Ishii might have a busted lip. Something's bleeding in his mouth. Going for the brainbuster. Naito fighting free. Not quite free. Turns it into the tornado DDT. Ishii just flows right through it. Another release. Belly to back suplex there, this time from Naito. Ishii trying to bring that warrior spirit to bear, trying to power through the pain, the impact. Naito able to stop him from capitalizing. Not sure what Naito is going for, but Ishii manages to catch him. Again, I don't know what Ishii was going for, but Naito caught him. Abbreviated version of the Destino, didn't quite get the full impact. You can be certain he's going to go for it again. Can Ishii stop him? Tries and succeeds. Again, talked about being a bit more unpredictable, bringing out some surprises. It's pretty much a given from Naito that if he hits that short version, a counter version of Destino, that reverse DDT as a counter, he's going to immediately try for the full version of the move to try to get the full impact, finish the match. Ishii saw it coming. He's going to look for the clothesline. Naito blocks. Doesn't block the second. Manages to hit the rolling kick. And hits the move. Doesn't quite get the full impact, I don't think. Perhaps Ishii countered there. I couldn't quite tell. Hits the clothesline. 1, 2. Only 2 count. I couldn't see. I have to assume that Ishii didn't take the impact of the move, that he countered into something that I couldn't make out what happened. Looking for the brainbuster. Naito uses the knee effectively to get out of it. It takes a huge clothesline. 1, 2, only 2 count. Naito might be smart to try and create some separation here and get the hell away from Ishii. Ishii's not going to let him, though. Looking for the brainbuster. Again, can he hit it? And he does. Is he going to be able to get the 3 count? 1, 2, and 3. Ishii gets the win. So for the A block, that puts us in a situation where Yoshihashi, 4 losses in a row, 1 win at the beginning of the tournament, effectively eliminated, if not technically so. Zack Sabre Jr. sitting on 3 wins, 2 losses. So not out of the tournament by any stretch. He's not doing bad at all. However, he does, during his match, or at the end of his match, I mentioned that, he's going to have Makabe and Ishii and Nagata and then Naito. So he's got some of his roughest matches coming up ahead of him. Tanahashi doing very well, sitting at 4 wins, 1 loss. 4 wins in a row, so he's got a ton of momentum going forward. Nagata eliminated 5 straight losses. Fale, not doing too bad. 3 wins, 2 losses. Naito, currently 3 wins, 2 losses. Ibushi, not eliminated, but not doing too great at this moment. 3 losses, 2 wins. Ishii just picked up his 3rd win, so he's 3-2. Which ties him up with Zack Sabre Jr., Fale, Naito, Makabe, also 3 wins, 2 losses, and Goto, 3 wins, 2 losses. So right now Tanahashi sitting in a bit of a lead with 2 points, but quite a few guys still baying at his heels, the hounds right on the heels. And Ibushi, not out of it yet. He could still make a comeback. But Nagata definitely eliminated. Yoshihashi, like I said, technically not eliminated, but effectively so. So that wraps up this night of the tournament. We'll see you on the next one. Thanks for listening. I am Ryan Acidheads Murphy. Acidheads is my music producer name, so you can check that out. And don't forget to check the links in the description for games I've developed, music, t-shirts, all that good stuff. Support the channel, and we'll catch you on the next one. Bye-bye.